The Friday afternoon sun slanted through the office windows as I saved my last spreadsheet and prepared to leave at 5 p.m. sharp. My weekend bag was already packed in my car. I had a flight to catch to see my daughter's college volleyball tournament 2 states away. Coleman, where the hell do you think you're going? Roger Blackstone's voice boomed across the cubicle farm like a foghorn. I turned to see him standing in his office doorway, his face already flushing that particular shade of red that meant someone was about to get screamed at. It's 5 o'clock, Roger. I'm heading out. Like hell you are. The Morrison Industries proposal needs to be completely reworked by Monday morning. That means you're here all weekend. I paused, my laptop bag halfway to my shoulder. Roger, we discussed this. I have my daughter's tournament. I submitted my time off request 3 weeks ago, and you approved it. He laughed, but there was no humor in it. That was before Morrison moved up their timeline. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices, Coleman. That's what separates the leaders from the clock punchers. The proposal is 90% complete, I said calmly. I can finish it Monday morning. Not good enough. I need you here at 8 a.m. tomorrow, Sunday too. This is non-negotiable. I thought about Rebecca, my daughter, looking into the stands for me. This was her senior year, possibly her last tournament. I'd already missed too much, working 60-hour weeks for a man who considered employees as disposable as coffee filters. No, I said simply. The entire floor went silent. You could have heard a pin drop in accounts receivable 3 departments over. Roger's face went from red to purple. Excuse me? I said no. I'll finish the proposal Monday morning early. But I'm not missing my daughter's tournament. He stepped out of his office, walking toward me with the deliberate swagger of a man who'd never been told no in his professional life. Let me explain something to you, Sarah. I own this company. I sign your paychecks. When I say jump, you ask how high. When I say work weekends, you say thank you for the opportunity. I've worked weekends for the past 2 months, I reminded him. 60-hour weeks have been my standard, not my exception. I'm taking this weekend. You're taking nothing. His voice dropped to that quiet, dangerous tone he used before firing people. You know what your problem is, Coleman? No dedication. No hunger. You're content being mediocre, putting in your 40 hours and running home to your little life. That's why you'll always be middle management. I'm not management at all, I pointed out. I'm a senior analyst. And that's all you'll ever be. You know why Harrison got promoted over you last quarter? Because when I called him at midnight with an emergency, he answered. When I needed someone here on Christmas Eve, he volunteered. That's dedication. That's exploitation, I said quietly. The words hung in the air like a challenge. Roger's eyes narrowed to slits. Pack your things, he said, his voice deadly calm now. We need someone more dedicated. Someone who understands that Blackstone Industries comes first. You're fired, effective immediately. I felt oddly calm. After 5 years of watching Roger chew through employees like a wood chipper, of seeing good people burned out and discarded, it was almost a relief. I'll need that in writing, I said. Oh, you'll get it. Security will escort you out. And don't think about using me as a reference. I'll make sure everyone in this industry knows you're unreliable, untrustworthy, unemployable. As I packed my desk, my coworkers avoided eye contact. I didn't blame them. They had mortgages, families, their own tournaments to miss. Harrison, newly promoted Harrison, actually smirked as security arrived to walk me out. Should have played the game, Sarah, he whispered as I passed. Roger rewards loyalty. Roger rewards servitude, I corrected. There's a difference. The security guard, Paul, looked apologetic as he escorted me to the elevator. We'd chatted many times over the years, about his grandkids, my daughter's volleyball, the weather. I'm sorry about this, Miss Coleman, he said quietly as we descended. For what it's worth, good for you. My granddaughter has a recital tomorrow I'm going to miss because of mandatory overtime. You should go anyway, I said. He gave me a sad smile. Can't afford to lose this job. As we reached the lobby, I pulled out my phone and sent a single text to Margaret Chun, my property manager. Execute the Blackstone contingency plan. Effective Monday. Her response was immediate. Are you certain? This will affect 312 employees. I thought about Harrison's smirk, about Roger's purple face, about 5 years of missed birthdays and canceled vacations and employees crying in bathroom stalls. I'm certain. Paul walked me to my car, still apologizing. I told him not to worry about it and drove away from the building I'd spent 5 years in, feeling lighter with each mile. The tournament was wonderful. Rebecca's team made it to the finals, and even though they lost, watching her play with such passion and skill made every sacrifice worth it. She hugged me afterward, sweaty and exhausted and happy. "I'm so glad you made it, Mom. Coach said you're at every game." Some of the other parents barely show up. "Nowhere else I'd rather be," I said, and meant it. Sunday evening, my phone exploded with messages. I ignored most of them, but one from Harrison caught my eye. "How could you do this? We're all screwed." Curious, I opened my email. The company-wide message from Roger was in full damage control mode. "Team, due to an unexpected situation with our landlord, we need all hands on deck Monday morning. Our lease has been terminated effective immediately. We have 30 days to vacate the premises. This is a temporary setback, and Blackstone Industries will emerge stronger." I smiled and put my phone away. Rebecca and I had a celebration dinner to attend. Monday morning, I woke up refreshed at 8 a.m. The first Monday in years I hadn't been at my desk by 7. After a leisurely breakfast, I drove to the Blackstone building, timing my arrival for maximum impact. The scene was chaos. Moving trucks blocked the parking lot. Employees stood in clusters, some crying, others shouting into phones. Roger was in the center of it all, his expensive suit wrinkled, his face haggard. I parked across the street and walked over, dressed in jeans and a comfortable sweater, clothes I'd never have worn to the office. "Sarah," Paul the security guard spotted me first. "What are you doing here?" "Just wanted to see if anyone needed help," I said innocently. Roger's head snapped around at the sound of my voice. "You. This is your fault somehow, isn't it? What did you do?" "Me." I laughed. "Roger, you fired me. I'm unemployable, remember? How could I possibly affect your company?" "The lease," he sputtered. "The landlord terminated our lease with no warning. 5 years left on the contract, and they can't do this." "Actually, they can," I said conversationally. "If you'd read the lease agreement carefully, particularly Section 47, subsection C, you'd have noticed the moral turpitude clause. Any behavior by company leadership deemed detrimental to the building's reputation or other tenants' welfare is grounds for immediate termination." His face went white. "How do you know what's in our lease?" "Oh, I make it a point to read everything I sign. Don't you?" Margaret Chin chose that moment to arrive, clipboard in hand, looking every inch the professional property manager she was. "Ms. Coleman, I didn't expect to see you here. Just checking on former colleagues," I said. "Margaret Chin, meet Roger Blackstone." "Roger, Margaret manages this building for the owner." Roger immediately turned on the charm. "Ms. Chin, surely we can work something out. Blackstone Industries has been an excellent tenant for 5 years. This eviction is unreasonable." Margaret consulted her clipboard. "Let's see. In the past 18 months, we've had 47 formal complaints from other tenants about noise at unreasonable hours. 12 complaints about employees sleeping in the building in violation of fire codes. 8 incidents of verbal abuse toward building maintenance staff." She looked up. "And 1 incident last Tuesday of the CEO screaming at a janitor until she cried because she was vacuuming during a conference call." "That was a crucial call," Roger protested. "It was 9 p.m. She was doing her job." Margaret's voice was ice cold. "The building owner has been patient, Mr. Blackstone, but your company's culture of overwork and abuse has created a hostile environment for everyone in this building." "Who is the owner?" Roger demanded. "I want to speak with them directly. Do you know who I am? I have connections. I'll sue." Margaret glanced at me. I nodded. "The building is owned by Coleman Properties LLC, she said. Sarah Coleman is the principal owner." The silence that followed was deafening. Every eye turned to me. Harrison's mouth hung open. Roger looked like he'd been punched in the gut. That's impossible," Roger stammered. "She's just an analyst. She drives a 10-year-old Honda." 11-year-old, I corrected. "And it runs perfectly. Why would I buy a new one?" But how?" I sighed. "Roger, in the 5 years I've worked for you, you never once asked about my background. Never wondered why someone with my qualifications was content being an analyst. Never considered that maybe I had reasons for wanting a stable schedule and reasonable hours." "I don't understand," he said weakly. "My husband died 7 years ago," I explained, not unkindly. "Life insurance, his tech startup equity, some lucky investments. I found myself with more money than I'd ever dreamed of. But I also had a 12-year-old daughter who'd just lost her father. She didn't need a CEO mom. She needed a present mom. I looked around at the assembled employees, many of whom were hearing this for the first time. I took the analyst job because it was supposed to be 9 to 5. Stable. Predictable. It let me be there for Rebecca while she navigated high school. The salary? I donated it all to charity. I didn't need it. Then why stay? Harrison asked, genuinely confused. Why put up with the abuse? The endless hours? The broken promises? I shrugged. Inertia partly, but mostly because I genuinely liked the work when Roger wasn't turning it into a sweatshop. And I liked my colleagues when they weren't being pitted against each other like gladiators. Roger's phone rang. He answered it mechanically, his face growing paler with each word. The Morrison account just canceled, he said numbly. They heard about the eviction. They're concerned about our stability. That's unfortunate, I said. Though not surprising. James Morrison and I serve on the same children's hospital board. He has strong feelings about work-life balance. Something about losing his first wife to stress-induced heart disease. You called him, Roger accused. I didn't have to. News travels fast in this city. Especially when a company has to suddenly relocate 300 employees because they got evicted for cause. More phones were ringing now. The dominoes were falling, just as I'd known they would. Clients spooked by instability. Employees updating resumes. The inevitable collapse of a company built on fear and exploitation. You've ruined me, Roger said, his voice hollow. Destroyed everything I've built. No, Roger. You destroyed it. One weekend at a time. One missed birthday at a time. One crying employee at a time. I turned to address the crowd. For those of you looking for new opportunities, Chun Properties is converting the 3rd floor into a co-working space for startups. We're looking for managers who understand that productivity comes from respect, not fear. That innovation requires rest, not exhaustion. Applications will be available online. I caught Paul the security guard's eye. We're also looking for a head of building security. Someone who knows the importance of being present for grandchildren's recitals. His eyes filled with tears as he nodded. Roger made one last attempt at salvage. Sarah, please. We can work this out. I'll change. I'll apologize. I'll give you whatever position you want. Executive VP. Chief Operations Officer. Just give me another chance. I don't want a position, Roger. I never did. I wanted to do good work and have a life. You made that impossible. I started walking back to my 11-year-old Honda, then paused. Oh, and Roger? That moral turpitude clause? It was my addition when I bought the building 3 years ago. I had a feeling it might come in handy someday. As I drove away, I saw him in my rearview mirror, standing among the boxes and chaos of his crumbling empire, finally understanding that true power doesn't come from making people work weekends. It comes from owning the building. That evening, Rebecca and I had dinner at our favorite restaurant. Nothing fancy, just a place that made great pasta and didn't rush you. Mom, is it true what everyone's saying? That you own a bunch of buildings downtown? A few, I admitted. Does that bother you? She thought about it. No. I mean, you never acted rich. You were always just, Mom. At every game, every tournament, every stupid school play. Those weren't stupid. Especially the one where you played a talking tree. She laughed. That was pretty stupid. But you were there. Front row. Always will be, I promised. My phone buzzed. Another text from a former colleague asking about the co-working space. I'd already received dozens of inquiries. You know what the best part is? I told Rebecca. That 3rd floor is going to be amazing. Flexible hours, on-site childcare, actual work-life balance. We're going to prove Roger wrong. About what? He said I'd always be middle management because I wasn't dedicated enough. But dedication isn't about working yourself to death. It's about being dedicated to the right things. Like volleyball tournaments. She smiled. And talking tree plays? Especially talking tree plays. 6 months later, the co-working space was thriving. 60 small companies, all committed to sustainable work practices. The productivity numbers were outstanding. Turns out people work better when they're not exhausted and miserable. Roger's company had folded within 2 months. Last I heard, he was working as a consultant, preaching the importance of work-life balance to anyone who would listen. Amazing how unemployment can shift your perspective. Harrison applied for space in the building. I approved his application on the condition that he attend mandatory leadership training focused on empathy and boundaries. He's actually become a decent human being, though he still occasionally slips and suggests just one weekend of overtime. His employees have permission to spray him with a water bottle when that happens. Paul runs the tightest, friendliest security team in the city. He hasn't missed a single grandchild event in 6 months. And me? I still drive my 11-year-old Honda. I still wear comfortable clothes. I still leave at 5 p.m. sharp. But now I do it from my own office, in my own building, surrounded by people who understand that success isn't measured in hours worked or weekends sacrificed. It's measured in volleyball tournaments attended, in talking tree plays watched, in being present for the people who matter. Roger was right about one thing. I wasn't dedicated to Blackstone Industries. I was dedicated to something far more important, my life. And that, as it turns out, was the best investment I ever made.